The owner of a restaurant wants to find out more about where his patrons are coming from. One day he decided to gather data about the distance in miles that people commuted to get to his restaurant. People reported the following distances traveled. So here are all the distances traveled. He wants to create a graph that helps him understand the spread of distances. This is a key word, the spread of distances and the median distance that people traveled or that people travel. What kind of graph should he create? So the answer of what kind of graph he should create, that might be a little bit more straightforward than the actual creation of the graph, which we will also do. But he's trying to visualize the spread of information, and at the same time he wants the median. So what graph captures both of that information? Well, a box and whisker plot. So let's actually try to draw a box and whisker plot. And to do that, we need to come up with the median, and we'll also see the median of the two halves of the data as well. And whenever we're trying to take the median of something, it's really helpful to order our data. So let's start off by attempting to order our data. So what is the smallest number here? Well, let's see. There's 1, 2, so let me mark it off. And then we have another 2. Another 2, so we got all the 2s. Then we have this 3. Then we have this 3. I think we got all the 3s. Then we have that 4. Then we have this 4. Do we have any 5s? No. Do we have any 6s? Yep, we have that 6. And that looks like the only 6. Any 7s? Yep, we have this 7 right over here. And I just realized that I missed this 1, so let me put the 1 at the beginning of our set. So I got that 1 right over there. Actually, there's 2 1s. I missed both of them. So both of those 1s are right over there. So I have 1s, 2s, 3, 4s, no 5s. This is 1, 6. There was 1, 7. There's 1, 8 right over here. 1, 8. And then, let's see, any 9s? No 9s. Any 10s? Yep, there's a 10. Any 11s? We have an 11 right over there. Any 12s? Nope. 13, 14. Then we have a 15. Then we have a 20. And then a 22. So we've ordered all our data. Now it should be relatively straightforward to find the middle of our data, the median. So how many data points do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So the middle number is going to be a number that has 8 numbers larger than it and 8 numbers smaller than it. So let's think about it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the number 6 here is larger than 8 of the values. And if I did the calculations right, it should be smaller than 8 of the values. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it is indeed the median. Now, when we take a box and whisker, when we're trying to construct a box and whisker plot, the convention is, okay, we have our median, and it's essentially dividing our data into 2 sets. Now let's take the median of each of those sets. And the convention is to take our median out and have the sets that are left over. Sometimes people leave it in, but the standard convention, take this median out and now look separately at this set and look separately at this set. So if we look at this first, the bottom half of our numbers essentially, what's the median of these numbers? Well, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 data points. So we're actually going to have 2 middle numbers. So the 2 middle numbers are, is this 2 and this 3. 3 numbers less than these 2, 3 numbers greater than it. And so when we're looking for a median, you have 2 middle numbers, we take the mean of these 2 numbers. So halfway in between 2 and 3 is 2.5. Or you can say 2 plus 3 is 5, divided by 2 is 2.5. So here we have a median of this bottom half of 2.5. And then the middle of the top half, once again, we have 8 data points. So our middle two numbers are going to be this 11 and this 14. And so if we want to take the mean of these 2 numbers, 11 plus 14 is 25. Halfway in between the 2 is 12.5. So 12.5 is exactly halfway between 11 and 14. And now we've figured out all of the information we need to actually plot or actually create or actually draw our box and whisker plot. So let me draw a number line. So my best attempt at a number line. So that's my number line. And let's say that this right over here is 0. I need to make sure I get all the way up to 22 or beyond 22. So let's say that's 0. Let's say this is 5. This is 10. That could be 15. And that could be 20. This could be 25. We could keep going. 30. Maybe 35. So the first thing we might want to think about, there's several ways to draw it. We want to think about the box part of the box and whisker essentially represents the middle half of our data. So it's essentially trying to represent this data right over here. So the data between the medians of the two halves. So this is a part that we would attempt to represent with the box. So we would start right over here at this lower, this 2.5. This is essentially separating the first quartile from the second quartile, the first quarter of our numbers from the second quarter of our numbers. So let's put it right over here. So this is 2.5. 2.5 is halfway between 0 and 5, so that's 2.5. And then up here we have 12.5. And 12.5 is right over, let's see, this is 10. Let me be a little bit 10. So this right over here would be this halfway between 10 and 15 is 12.5. So let me do this. So this is 12.5 right over here. 12.5. So that separates the third quartile from the fourth quartile. And then our box is everything in between. So this is literally the middle half of our numbers. The middle half of our numbers. And we'd want to show where the actual median is. And that was actually one of the things that we wanted to be able to think about in our original, when the owner of the restaurant wanted to think about how far people are traveling from. So the median is 6. So we can plot it right over here. So if this right over here this is about 6. So that is, let me do that same pink color. So this right over here is 6. And then the whiskers of the box and whisker plot essentially show us the range of our data. And so let me do that. I could do this in a different color that I haven't used yet. I'll do this in orange. So essentially if we want to see, look, the numbers go all the way up to 22. So they go all the way up to, so let's say that this is 22 right over here. Our numbers go all the way up to 22. Our numbers go all the way up to 22. And they go as low as 1. So they go, 1 is right about here. They go as low, let me label that, so that's 1. And they go as low as 1. So there you have it. We have our box and whisker plot. And you can see if you have a plot like this, just visually you can immediately see, okay, what is the median? It's the middle of the box, essentially. It shows you the middle half, so it shows you how far they're spread or kind of where the meat of the spread is. And then it shows, well, beyond that, we have the range that goes well beyond that. It goes, or how far the total spread of our data is. So this gives a pretty good sense of both the median and the spread of our data.